In this video, we're going to look at comping. Now, you'll recall in the earlier videos, we recorded multiple takes of these shaker and cowbell tracks. Now, what I want to do is work with the different takes, and maybe you want to select parts from each take and make a composite track. To start with, we can right-click on the track column to expand the layers. So if I right-click there and go expand layers on the shaker part, we'll see our 4 shaker parts. I'm going to zoom a little bit. I'm going to hold down Command with the mouse scroll wheel. And by dragging horizontally, it'll expand horizontally. And if I drag up and down, it'll expand vertically. So there are the 4 shaker takes. Now we can also use this button in the column here to show and hide or expand and collapse, depending on what word you want to use, those same takes. Now we have layer options in the inspector over here. We can select the different takes there like that. And that's going to be the one that's in the top take, the one that's being used or being played, the active one, whatever you want to call it. So we can just select a layer or take like that and use that whole layer, and we'll see the little bend markers that were created when I quantized it. But let's say I want to take the best bits from each of the takes. I'm going to create an additional layer, and I'm going to do that from the layer menu up here in the inspector. I'm going to go add layer. Of course, I can duplicate as well or rename or remove a layer. Let's add one, and I'm going to name it. And there's the empty layer at the top. Now, each layer has their own set of track controls. For example, we can solo a layer with that. We can use this button to duplicate a layer. We can remove a layer with that. And we use this button to activate it. But what I want to do is audition little bits from each take. So I can hold down Option, and this turns into a scrub icon. And I can just click in the track and listen like that. So maybe I'm going to select the beginning of take 2. So this becomes a special range select tool where I can click and drag, and now that's been added to the top part. Now here I'm going to set my snap back to adaptive. I want to have freedom. So I can lengthen or shorten the part, and it's going to snap still because we are in adaptive mode. So maybe I want to use that part from there. Now I can also select here and hit S to solo that track. And this is independent of track solo. So if I go to the beginning, I can hear it in context, or I can solo the track and it'll solo this specific layer. So let's say I'm going to continue now, and I'm going to drag here, and I'll use that bit from there. And then I'm just sort of selecting at random, but let's try different bits. And not all of these are going to fit together. Now I'm going to expand this range, and you'll see that it'll shrink the one before it. And again, it's snapping to the grid, but we can always override that with the Shift key if we need to get a really smooth transition point, especially for something percussive like this. So let's listen to this from the beginning. All right, let's continue editing. I'm going to extend this one over here. And let's take a little bit from the first take. Just swipe across there. And good. Now, another function of the scrubbing is, in addition to Option, we can hold down Option Shift to audition and loop a selected range of the audio event. Like that. So let's listen again and make sure everything's flowing smoothly. I got this track soloed, but I'm going to take that out of solo so we can hear the composite. Okay, there's a bad edit there, so let's zoom a little bit. I'm going to use the Command key, and let's tweak that. Try this instead. Okay, that's working fine. So now I can collapse all these, and I have my composite take over here. And in addition, I have this quick switching icon where, let's say I decide, okay, I don't like this second bit. Maybe I want to try another take from there. Rather than opening up and swiping again, I can just click there and just jump to take 2 from that specific range that's been chosen. And that's the basic workflow for simple comping between layers.